It seems like one of the most challenging, of course, since ever, but now more than ever, one of the most challenging situation where we have to face is our interaction with our ego mind. And we need to become more and more aware of what the ego mind usually does to us. Because now, more than ever, our heart and our soul are sending us powerful and sometimes even overwhelming signals of dissonance with everything that is perpetuating a fear-based structure. And so our heart and our soul send a signal, an invitation to life for a way to expand into a higher level of freedom, into a higher level of communion with life, into a higher level of integrity with our intent and purpose. And so life responds to us with a possibility. It can be a vision, it can be a project, an opportunity. And we feel the excitement, the joy, the enthusiasm of that this new possibility that came into our life and knocked into our life is presenting to us. And so we eagerly say yes at first. We say yes to it, and we dare into this possibility. And sometimes we go as far as having a glimpse of the experience that such a possibility gives us. And it's all well and good and it's all beautiful. However, eventually comes a time when we go back home from that glimpse of an experience, and our ego mind start to do his demolishing work. This is crazy. I cannot do this. I have jobs, appointments, responsibilities. I'm not ready for it. I'm not good enough for it. I cannot trust it. What if? What if then? Blah, blah, blah. So this is the ego mind, who is terrified. The ego mind is terrified by anything that comes into life, our life, and can give us freedom, more love, more joy, more creativity. Is terrorized by these potentialities because it believes that if this potentiality enter our life, it stop existing, which is not true. It definitely will stop his position of overwhelming power and decisional factor, but it will not annihilate him or kill him. So we do have to have a conversation with the ego and reassure it that it's going to be okay. But it will have to seat, in the drive seat, in the back seat, not in the drive seat anymore. So again, life gives us an opportunity to in answering to our call, because we feel sad, we feel miserable, we feel like we are in a loop of sameness, where we have a job that we are not happy with, we are not really being as creative as we want, and then life responds to it by giving us some opportunities. And when finally gets there, we at first maybe say yes, and then immediately fear comes. The ego mind starts to sabotage this new potentiality and wants us to convince us to go back into the sameness, the all same, because that's reality. Because that possibility does not make sense. It needs to be you need to stay in a control environment, because outside is scary. That's what the mind wants us to tell us. And what if I put my trust in this and then it doesn't work? Then I'm going to get hurt. And what if by doing this I find out that I'm not as good as I want to think I am? Or what if I decide, if this new thing bring me a level of freedom and joy that require a higher level of responsibility that I don't want to take? So the ego, once this opportunity come on in our laps, it will do everything is possible to kill it, to destroy it, and to convince us to go back inside the cocoon, into the sameness, because that's what the ego wants. At its best, it wants us to stay in the sameness. At its worst, it wants completely destroyed us. So it is a mechanism that is fear-based and is extremely astute in convincing us why we shouldn't be happy, why we shouldn't do what our heart is asking to do. And it comes out with millions of reasons. Sometimes for the spiritually informed people, it use that spirituality to fire back. Coming out with all these stories about reasons why I cannot do this. And so we need to really, when we hear those sabotaging ideas, we just came back from an experience where really opened our heart. It felt so good, it felt so beautiful. And then we have sleep and then wake up in the morning and we feel frightened, discouraged, fear come in, doubts come in, all kind of reason why we shouldn't do that. That is the most fragile and delicate moment in the process, where we really need to go within ourselves and really apply discernment between what is really a voice that comes from our heart, which is love-based and expansive, from a fear voice, a voice that is fear-based and is contractive. And he really wants to make sure that we stay put in our not so happy and sometimes very miserable sameness life. So once again, we feel that we desire for more, we feel we want to create and we want to get out of our jobs, our relationships, our logistics, because we feel contracted inside those structures, self-imposed structures. We really feel like we cannot stand it anymore. Then life gives us an opportunity we have a first glimpse of how beautiful it is, and then we get scared and we go back into the sameness. This is a process that sometimes needs to be experienced several times before we break through it. And we just trust the voice of our heart rather than the voice of our ego mind. And so many people, they are in their own prison, they're miserable, unhappy, and they complain all the time how they don't like it, and then all of a sudden the door of the prison open up a little bit, and they get scared, and they find millions of good reasons why they shouldn't even try to stick their their nose out of the prison just to see what's going on out there. And so they close again the door, and they spend many years in the sameness until again maybe that door open up, and then again they get scared. So this is a process that keeps coming for some of us until we've come to terms with our ego, and we start to really get out of the mind masturbation, and we start to really connect with full force with our heart and soul that has created that door opening. And yes, it will take courage. It will take courage for a person that has been 40 years in a prison, and now the door is open and he has the opportunity to get out. It's very scary. But life never gives you more than what you can handle in that moment. It gives you opportunities that are always aligned with what you can take. Although your mind, once you believe that it's not possible, that you are not ready for it, I need to heal more, I need to go to do therapy before I do this, or I need to, whatever reason comes it. In truth, your heart knows exactly what you can and cannot do it, and is providing you with exactly the experience that you need to do at this very moment. The mind astutely convinces you differently. So, particularly at this time of our journey, it is imperially important, it's extremely important that we really, when our prison door open up a little bit, we really face our fears and get the courage to have an experience, to step out of the prison. Even if it's very crazy, maybe for a little bit, but just step out of the prison, face your fear, and then come back into the prison, and then you will have to overcome the ego massively attacking you with all kind of doubts and fear and convincing you that you have to close again that door and stay into the prison because that's reality. That makes sense because the mind wants to make sense. Because you think linearly. The mind cannot comprehend an holistic approach. It only comprehends a linear approach. So it doesn't do anything that doesn't make sense, which means that it has to be controlled and has to be sensical. You have to look at reality. But the reality that the mind point out to you is the same reality that is making you, is suffocating you, and is making you miserable. So then at a certain point you will have to apply a higher level of discernment and decide, okay, wow, the prison door, it's open. It just opened up. It might open for just a few seconds, a few minutes. What am I going to do? Am I going to take a chance? Or I let it close down and spend another few years here, pondering about it, thinking about it. It seems like we are running out of time in terms of going through the prison door, because the prison is collapsing. And either we die within the prison walls that collapse on us, or we just get out. It is again the metaphoric story of the cocoon, the caterpillar, and the butterfly. If the caterpillar doesn't, when the time comes, doesn't go out and spread his wings and become a butterfly, the cocoon is going to suffocate him and he's going to die inside the cocoon. Now, we don't need to get to this in such a dramatic situation. What I'm saying is that when the door, your door, the door of your life, open up with a new opportunity, and you feel a strong resonance, and then you say yes to it, be prepared that the ego mind will do anything possible to sabotage that yes and to convince you that that's crazy and you need to go back inside the cocoon. When that happens, that's the moment when you really need to stay connected with your heart, and whatever fear comes, you will have to take a look at it and understand that behind that fear there is a program, there is a limited beliefs, and so this door opening up is an opportunity for you to connect with your fears and to let them go. Otherwise the door will close again and the prison will stay put, and now the prison walls are shrinking more and more and suffocating you more and more and more. So we do need to act in a timely manner, with no pressure, no anxiety, but honor when life knocks your door with the new opportunity. Honor it with 100% your heart open, and honor the fear that comes to you, which are your best friends, because they are telling you, in order to walk through that door, you have to go back in alignment. There's something inside yourself that is not in alignment with your true essence, your true internal life force. So these fears are an opportunity for you to look into it. And this door that is open is an opportunity for you to have an experiential, to have an experience that will allow you to process those fears so that you can get out of the prison. I've seen that many times in my offering. I offer a project, I offer a gift, I offer a co-creative possibility that is pure in its intent and is joyful. And I see people responding, and then all of a sudden they come out with all this self-sabotaging reason why they cannot do what first was a big yes within their structure.